and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 58 of A Wild Podcast Has Appeared, the official Pokemon podcast of Comicbook.com. And boy, oh boy, do we have an episode for you.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Sorry. Oh, God.
Hopper's just so tired from writing.
Non-stop Pokemon. Oh.
I know, for once the Pokemon Company actually decided to be like, let's not release the information the day after they record. Let's release it like in enough time for them to process it and digest it so they can talk about it on the episode. So
right. But also so this episode we had planned to be pretty Isle of Armor intensive, but since they did not actually make it live until maybe an hour or two before we started recording, we did not get much into it. We'll touch on it a little bit because I think Christian, if anything, has been the one to play the most about it, so we'll get super quick first impressions from him. But we'll do a much deeper dive into that next week, because then all of us will have had a bunch of time to play with it. I hopefully will have a working Switch again, because when I went to go download Isle of Armor, my Switch died. So on that note, I'm Jim Viscardi. That's Christian Hoffer and Megan Peters, and we talk about Pokemon on this show. And I'm just going to jump right into it because we've got
we have way too much to really screw around. Banter.
Yeah. For everyone who has downloaded this episode, who is a returning listener, yes, we are all crazy excited about Pokemon Snap, but that's going in the deep dive section because we have so many things to talk about.
I will just say that I did call it, though.
Megan, you've been calling Pokemon Snap too?
I mean, yeah,
for months.
Every time I've called it, I'll just say this. Both of y'all hate on me. Both of y'all say it's not happening. And what happened today? Who wants to tell me what happened?
I'm just going to say this. If you continually point to the outfield in the same location, eventually you will hit the ball. Eventually that ball will land in that same general direction as where you point.
You know what? I'm not hearing the answer that today a new Pokemon Snap was announced.
Which is really freaking insane.
Yeah, okay, but I promise you we will get to that. If you're new to this show and you're asking what the hell the deep dive is, the show's broken up into 3 parts. We do a quick news hits in the first part. We take a quick break. Then we do a deep dive where we talk a bit more in depth about some of the bigger topics of the week. And then Christian gives us the Pokemon fact of the week. And then then everyone goes home. We all have a nice day. So let's jump right into it. During this morning's big Pokemon Direct, we got some Pokemon Go news, did we? Yes. No, that was yesterday.
This is a culmination of both news that happened today and also news that got announced yesterday. So it's like a 2-day process.
Yep. So today we got Galarian Farfetch'd coming to the game, and Mega Evolutions are coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it seems it seems to be tied to specific locations from, mind you, all they said was Mega Evolutions are coming, and then they showed like a little clip that showed absolutely nothing. But the little mini trailer that they did showed like mega stones popping up in like specific spots. So, they noted that, Mega Evolutions were coming and that it would be a unique take on the mechanic that, kind of utilizes Pokemon Go's unique gameplay, which leads me to believe that, like, at certain gyms, you'll be able to Mega Evolve, and at other gyms, you won't be able to Mega Evolve, or maybe it shifts. Who knows? That's just speculation on my part.
That's fair.
Good speculation.
Galarian Farfetch'd is like everywhere though.
It's terrifying.
Is he?
Yeah, I opened it up and went to go see. I'm gonna open it up again, see if I'll.
Yeah, I'm literally also opening it up as we speak.
Yeah. But when I saw it after this morning, he was definitely on. He was on my radar, and I saw 2 of them in my backyard. So I was like, whoa. I was not expecting that. So he's definitely out there, and looks like I assume today yesterday if you're listening to this, but I imagine probably over the next couple of days he will be very easy. He will pop up quite a bit.
Yeah.
For y'all to go pick up.
I've just seen screenshots of like literal armies.
Yeah,
Did you Galarian Farfetch'd.
Did you see the image that Pokemon Go, like the official image of it is just like dozens of Farfetch like standing on like the Pokemon Go map, and I was like, this is a threat. Like, they are warning you. It's like, yeah, go outside, don't social distance, see what happens to you.
Yeah, like it's like Pokemon is actively like, don't leave your house.
this angry Farfetch is coming to beat your shins.
It's pretty hilarious.
Also in Pokemon Go news, Pokemon Go Fest plans have been announced.
Mm-hmm.
Christian, you want to talk a bit more about what those are?
So they straight up said Victini will be the mythical Pokemon that you can get for it. They will be doing rotating habitats. So basically, if you ever attended a Pokemon Go Fest live, they had these kind of like mini habitats where they had a little set up, and then specific Pokemon would spawn at those like locations. So they would have like a snow theme where they'd be shooting off bubbles into the air, and you could catch a bunch of ice-type Pokemon. Well, you can't really set those up if you're doing a worldwide event. So what they're doing instead is they're doing a different habitat per hour. So at the top of every hour, the habitat will switch. There will be different challenges attached to those habitats, and also different Pokemon will appear. The 5 habitats are water, grass, fire, friendship, and battle. Now, I am really curious to see what the friendship habitat looks like.
Yeah, what is this? Just going to be like a big hangout? Like
it's just going to be a big hug.
Just a big hug, everyone. Come on in.
So the other thing, they didn't like announce it, but I sat in on a very enlightening Zoom call with Niantic, and they did talk about in the bonuses. They just had a random picture of a Slowpoke. So that leads me and other members of the media to believe that they'll be releasing the shiny Slowpoke as a part of all of this. Now that's once again just speculation on my part, but I'm usually not wrong about these things. Finally, the Pokemon Company has said that they will match. So no one is going to make money off of Pokemon Go Fest this year. That's the other big thing. The Pokemon Company will be donating their portion of the proceeds of this event to various nonprofits with a focus on like children-based nonprofits, and also an emphasis on diversity and specifically Black communities, kind of in keeping with Niantic's similar pledge of also donating all of their proceeds to a bunch of different nonprofits. And that's kind of in keeping with the ongoing conversation that's kind of been taking place here in the United States involving racism and whatnot. But, that's pretty cool. That basically, if you buy a $15 ticket to Pokemon Go Fest, all that money is going to nonprofit.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Super easy way to support. Also, as we've seen, Pokemon Go Fest will be very interesting this year because there hasn't really been one like it. So
it should be pretty cool. I like the global challenges, how they're keeping that. That'll be interesting. You can buy your tickets now, by the way, so you can just do that in the in-game app store. So
there you go.
Nice. Then we'll put all the Pokemon Go news in one section of the show. The Battle League is down because people have been caught cheating.
It's what a shame.
I mean, we knew it was going to happen, though.
Well, but the thing is that no one knew how they were getting away with it.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah,
this came out. This was a big mystery because some dude just like rocketed to the top of the ranked. There's a public leaderboard that everyone can see, and usually like all the leaders are like, yeah, I've got like 900 wins, 900 battles or something like that, and some dude just skyrocketed to the top with like 300 battles, and somehow what he was doing was he was able to charge his charge moves during the animation of like of when the attack was going on. So basically, he was getting a competitive edge because that meant he was able to get off more charge attacks than his opponent or her opponent. That's their opponent. So that's
Yes.
it was weird, and so they just shut the entire thing down.
Man, it's always like,
And like, but they didn't just shut it down. It's still down.
Yeah, it's been
They
down
shut it.
for
They shut it down over this past weekend.
yeah, it's been down for like 5 or 6 days now.
Yeah, and like I think everyone expected it to just be like, oh, okay, it's down. It'll be back in like 24, 48 hours. It's still down. And I think that goes to show like
My personal
big deal.
favorite part of this entire thing is the statement that Pokemon Go released out with it, where it's like, we have an unwritten contract with our players to allow a fair battlescape, and when this contract is broken, the toughest action must be taken. And it's like, whoa, Pokemon Go. Like,
yeah, this is
like
intense.
listen, guys, this is a free-to-play game in which you tap your screen really fast. Like, I appreciate the fact that they're taking this seriously, but it's like, dear God, like, there are military generals who don't take war that seriously.
Yeah, like if you thought Nintendo was serious about like time traveling at Animal Crossing, like you have not read this statement. It's pretty intense.
Does Animal Crossing take? Are you not supposed to time travel in Animal Crossing? Do they take that seriously?
Apparently, that is something. Well, it depends on who you ask, Coffer, and that's a conversation for a different podcast.
I think the thing Animal Crossing is taking very seriously is like the real world transactions, people paying real world money for stuff.
Yeah, they are. That is something they are also doing. Much like the Pokemon fandom has done in the past with certain things. But with Pokemon Go, like, I'm curious, like, one, it's this person who is cheating. It's like when you were in elementary school and there was like the one kid in the classroom who just like wouldn't shut up, and you all had to like go to lunch late or something, and everyone like was furious at that kid. Like, one, I hope that whoever cheated, they don't out themselves, because they're going to be
everyone is going to
hate them because it's been down for so long. But I also am wondering, like, I'm sure Niantic is taking it seriously of trying to correct this issue, whatever glitch or open vulnerability it had to do that cheat, which was making them unfairly going up the leaderboard. But part of me is also like, Niantic's wants money, but they also want revenge. So they're like, just take it slow. It's okay. They just need like a little bit of punishment, but they'll get it done before too long.
A turn of the knife.
Money. So, yeah. Don't cheat. Cheating's bad.
Ruin it for everyone.
Yep.
All right. So that's Pokemon Go.
Yes.
Some other quick little things. There is a new clothing line from Black Milk, Pokemon-inspired clothing line, which is pretty cool.
It's pretty sleek.
I have never been like more jealous of people who look good in wearing dresses than I was when I saw this product line. It is amazing. I definitely have placed a pre-order for. They have Pokemon football jerseys.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, like they're called touchdown shirts because I think there's probably some, they probably need to get around it, but they are unisex, and there's like a Pikachu one, so I'm definitely like, it's out of stock, but they'll come back. I mean, these things sold out in minutes. Like that was like the other thing that like was just crazy about it. Was like I saw it like because it's an Australian company. I was like, oh, surely these things aren't going to sell out in seconds, and I like click on the link after they posted that they went live, and it's like sold out, never coming in again. I'm sorry you missed your one chance of getting a lacy Pokeball dress. Sold out. This one will actually come back in eventually. But they have like bomber jackets.
The Team Rocket and the Pikachu bomber jackets are pretty freaking rad.
Yeah, they're like they have basketball jerseys and football jerseys, and there's a Gengar basketball jersey, I think. Oh man, that one looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it's like super great quality. I have a couple of like clothing pieces from Black Milk and it's a little pricier than what you might buy here depending on where you shop. Like if your average shopping trip consists of Forever 21, this is going to be a little bit more expensive for black milk, but like it's super worth it. Holds up very well.
that kind of cracks me up, because when I looked at the prices, because one, all the prices listed are in like Australian dollars, so I had to convert them to US dollars to see like how expensive is this actually. And I was actually like, you know what, like I was expecting for like what I assume is a premium fashion line, because that's how everyone was talking about their clothes, as if it were a premium fashion line. I was expecting like definitely more items in like the $100, $150 range for that sort of stuff. And everything was, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is no like, oh, buy $10 for a shirt. I mean, everything was in that like $60 to $90 range. But I was actually like kind of thinking, it's like, I guess it's because I don't buy dresses on a regular basis.
But I forgot to put this in the show notes. You can't do better than right now. In China, Zara has released sock booty heels, but the heels are Pokeballs.
Oh my God, I saw those.
I have Zara heels, and if you have decent ankle stability, these heels are really okay. If you need more support, might not be the best option for you, but these heels will give you some more stability. But they're only $35.
Well, it's because it's a Pokeball that's glued to a sock, Megan. That's why it's only $35.
Hey, it's a comfortable sock, Hoffer. Just saying. Anyways, you can only get it in China right now, but I have made many Twitter pitches to Zara for them to bring them to the United States. So fingers crossed.
All right. So feel free to go check that out at Black Milk's website if and when they become available. It's only a matter of time before they do. Right. On the anime front, Pokemon Journeys is on Netflix now. So get to watching, folks. If you've been waiting for the dub, now is the time to watch it. I started watching it this weekend with my kid. We very much enjoy it. And that first episode still tugs at the heartstrings.
My son did not want to watch the first episode because he was convinced that something bad was going to happen to Pichu and or baby Kangaskhan.
No.
I mean, it gets harrowing for a moment there with baby Kangaskhan.
I mean, he was literally like telling me, he's like, Daddy, turn it off now. Like, turn off the television show. And like it took like me and my wife like a good solid like 5 minutes to explain to him that it's okay, nothing is going to happen to this baby Pikachu. Also, considering he doesn't like Pichu, I was like really surprised by his compassion for a Pokemon that I'm pretty sure he is like legitimately tossed off a cliff or like the top of his bunk bed because he doesn't really care for it.
Well, that shows character growth.
Yeah.
Also, no one has an excuse to like not watch it now. Like it's there.
That's true.
It's dubbed. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the Japanese audio, so it seems like Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution was like a fluke. But it's still here. The dub is great. There's some weird translation choices that, some fans are being nitpicky about. But all in all, it is a super, super solid way to be experiencing this Pokemon Journeys anime. And I have no complaints.
Yeah, nice. No, I thought I really enjoyed the first 12 episodes of the series. I definitely want to smack Go. Like, right out of the get-go. Like, they established, like, Go is an annoying SOB. Like, right out of the gate. Like, it's like, here is Pichu's story. By the way, Go is an annoying just brat. You want to kick him. And then he grows up a little bit, and they're like, by the way, Go is still really obnoxious. You still want to kick him.
Well, by the end of the anime, by the end of this, 500 episodes from now, who knows how long it's going to take, Go will just be slightly annoying. You won't want to kick him anymore. Maybe you'll want to occasionally flick him in the forehead.
Or he'll be irredeemable.
Well, see, that's just where you go to every time you discuss Go.
Listen.
But, the first 12 episodes do well.
If we're talking about things that, like pipe dreams that become reality. I mean, this is literally the episode in which, if we're going to call our shots, and expect the Pokemon Company to take action, this is it. Make Go the bad guy, Pokemon Company. Do it.
Well, on that note, the 12 episodes that are on Netflix are great, but The new episodes are still coming out in Japan weekly now that the show is back from the COVID hiatus. Hopefully it won't have to go back on one, depending on how Japan is controlling its infection rates. But we do know for sure that a new episode is coming out next week, and it will feature none other than the gym leader, Karina, who you will remember from X and Y. She had one of like the best battles with Ash that like I remember seeing in X and Y. And within the anime fandom, X and Y is often touted as one of the greatest anime series to adapt the game so far. So Karina's coming back. We've gotten a preview with her. She looks super cute in the design for this anime. And she has Lucario with her. So she and Ash will have the rematch that she promised, way back when. So yeah, that will be coming out in Japan soon. You'll probably see it all over Twitter. So if you don't want spoilers, like blacklist the word Karina, I guess. But eventually it'll be coming to Netflix because Netflix is doing the quarterly episode updates.
Yep. Cool. And then before we get to our deep dive, one just quick note about the Pokemon trading card game. We got our first amazing rare cards.
Yes, so this will be the new type of card that will get introduced to the Pokemon trading card game later this year. What we know so far is that they are, they mechanically, they are cost one prize when they get knocked out. So they are not like loaded up on HP. For instance, the amazing rare Rayquaza is only 120, only has 120 HP. However, they do have some abilities that are really swingy. At the cost of, usually it takes 3 different energy types in order to like load them up with what they need. So they're kind of like replacing those dragon type Pokemon, which also often had 3 energy costs, but like Jirachi basically allows you to pull out every energy card that you have out of your deck and like distribute them how you want. It's 7 energy. It's insane.
My gosh, that's crazy.
Rayquaza is discard all energy attack that's attached to it, and the attack strength is 80 times as much. So you can just think of how Jirachi and Rayquaza can work together. You can throw Jirachi in there, pull out 7 energy, load up Rayquaza with it, and then send out Rayquaza to do a 560-point damage attack. So that is, so those are the type of cards that we're looking at here. Should be a fun year for the Pokemon trading card game.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. That's some serious damage. Wow.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to go through all of the big announcements and mostly probably just talk about Pokemon Snap when we get back. All right, so let's get through some of the other things that they announced and then get to talk about Pokemon Snap.
Okay.
Pokemon Smile.
Yes.
An AR game designed to...
Before you get started,
all right,
we do need to... Once again, you always dive into things without explaining the very important context. In this case, the Pokemon Company made an 11-minute presentation where they dumped all of this stuff at us at 9 a.m. in the morning. Mere hours before this podcast was set to release. And also, when the DLC was just sitting there mocking me, saying, "Oh, Christian, don't you want to come and play me? Oh, you can't because you're too busy working? Oh, that's a shame. I'm sitting right here." Go on.
Pokemon Smile is a game to encourage young children to brush their teeth.
And also adults.
And adults.
That's true. We're not ageist here.
That's a thing.
It's just, I feel like somebody predicted this when they announced like Pokemon Sleep as like a meme. And like somebody saw it and was like, you know what? My kid's had a couple cavities lately. I can do this. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to think of it, honestly. Like, it just makes me think of those like toothbrushes that you see in the grocery store now that they like play songs when you brush your teeth.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to brush your teeth for as long as that song plays. Because I unironically had a One Direction one of those a long time ago. But
nobody here is surprised.
Nobody's here surprised. It was in college. My friend got it for me, and it was great. I loved it. But Pokemon Smile, like, I just have a lot of questions. Like, oh, are you gonna just be like brushing your teeth with your phone right here? I don't know. There's a lot of questions I have.
Why don't you download it? Because you can download it right now and start brushing your teeth.
Yep.
Well, I
mean,
have
look,
already brushed my teeth for the morning, so maybe
You
tonight.
need to brush your teeth like 2 to 3 times a day, Megan.
Look, as a parent,
Tonight.
I'm all in on this because like I'm gonna give it a shot and see how and see if my kids engaged with it, and if she is, great. Then we got something to do when we brush our teeth. If not, well, it was a good job.
The designs are super cute.
Yeah, they are.
The artwork is super adorable. Like, I will likely download it, if not just because I want to look at the artwork. But I definitely think there is a certain demographic that this is going to.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's not as applicant to me because the only people I have to brush teeth for are not even people; they are my cats, except for myself. So you know what? I'll give it a try. It'll be cute to see.
I'm pretty sure this is like it was basically a public service because I'm pretty sure it's free to download. Yep. There's no microtransactions.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's literally just the Pokemon Company is trying to help kids get their teeth brushed.
I know. First, try to get us outside and exercise. Sometimes they're going to help us sleep. Now, fight cavities. What's next? We might as well go ahead and predict it.
It's going to be Pokemon Diet is what's coming up next.
That's it. I'm just waiting for the weight loss app.
What's going to come through? It's going to be like Brock cooking or something. It is.
Like just a recipe app kind of thing. Oh,
it's just going to be like a Kingler or like one of the mini Pokemon that we know to be food, just kind of like staring at you judgingly whenever you're about to eat like a potato chip.
I'm going to be honest. If we're pitching things that I really want, like, can we get like Pokemon taxes? Like, fun way to do your taxes? Like, I'm just being honest here.
Just Meowth, like, pointing at, like, a different little, like, box.
Basically, I want the voice actor to explain to me exactly, like, where do I put my income? How do I
you scan
account for the fact that I have a house or
you just scan
I have
your
a yacht or something.
You just scan your W-4s or whatever, and every time you scan it, it looks for the certain numbers and just throws a bunch of Poke Coins at you to see whether or not you're going to get a good amount back or not. All right, so anyway.
That's what I want.
That's Pokemon Smile. The next one is Pokemon Cafe Mix.
Yeah.
AKA the cutest game ever.
I love that, like, it's a bunch of Pokemon wearing, like, berets and little, like, schoolboy hats. I'll be 100% honest. Due to everything else that was going on today, I did not really have any time to look at Pokemon Cafe Mix other than, that Bulbasaur is wearing a hat. And then I moved on.
I've already pre-downloaded it on my Switch because I'm very excited. I mean, basically the point of this game is it's like a puzzle crawler where basically you're like Pokemon come into your like cute little like French style bistro and you make pastries and treats for them, which by the way, the treats and like food that you make in the game are actual food items you can buy in Japan at the Pokemon cafes that they have. So you just play like a puzzle game where it's like, you have a bunch of Pokemon icons, you connect them, pretty mindless game you can play. And that's how you make recipes for the Pokemon. You can befriend them so they can help you in the puzzles and they work with you and they put on these cute little bistro uniforms. And then more Pokemon are unlocked as you level up your diner to become more Pokemon friendly. So they've teased like Munchlax will show up, which is great because, he's going to be a big spender. But yeah. It's super cute and it's free to play at the start, but of course there are in-game purchases and microtransactions.
That's what I loved about the description for this. It is a free to start game.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. At least it's honest in saying that it's not like free to play. Like if you want to get further in the game, you're going to have to spend some money. Like, unless you just want to grind for literally months to get past like the first like obstacles and stuff. But I'm excited. The artwork is super cute. It's super, super, super cute. So you can download it now. It's available on Nintendo Switch and also like smartphone, like applications. So I'm pretty excited. Got to admit. I'm more interested in it than Pokemon Smile, but not as much as Pokemon Taxes.
Yeah, I mean, like it looks like a cute little puzzle game. It definitely will probably replace some of the other ones that I play that are very similar. When I'm looking for something to do when I'm waiting in line for something. But so that's a good one. And then for Pokemon Sword and Shield, Pokemon Company announced that we will be getting Zeraora raids. That's a fun name to say.
It is a very fun name to say.
There will be Zeraora raids, but like there's like a catch. Like so, it's one of those like Mewtwo where you can't catch the Zeraora, but if enough people do it, I think the number is 1 million or something.
Yes.
Then everybody will get a shiny Zeraora.
Which will be the first time
that I
that
don't want a shiny Zeraora. Just want the regular, but.
Well, you had your chance of getting a shiny Zeraora like back in 2018. Now don't screw this up for the rest of us, Megan.
You know what? I'm going to be that person. I'm not doing it. I hope 999,999 people do it, and I don't.
Well, and you can direct your angry reviews to @Megan Peters. See,
we all both know that I can't resist, and I'm going to be doing that raid as soon as it's open.
Well, it is open right now, actually, in Pokemon Sword and Shield. And as a side note, you can do it even if you don't have Isle of Armor.
Oh, cool!
Yeah,
that's cool. I did not know that part.
Yep, it's open to all, which is nice.
So you have no excuse to not do it if you have the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is kind of like the Mewtwo. It's kind of like the Mewtwo raid that happened back in February.
Except they didn't give everyone Mewtwo.
Well, that's because you already should have had a Mewtwo.
Wow.
They didn't give everyone a Mewtwo.
There's the difference.
You can get, sure, if you transfer it over from wherever, that's totally different.
Well, you're going to get it in the Crown Tundra. They don't want to give away Crown Tundra content. That's why.
That's true.
They got to get people coming back here for late fall 2020.
I don't think they're going to really struggle to do that, though.
No, they're not. Not
I think we're fine.
And the other thing that they teased is that there are more announcements coming. There's another big announcement coming next week.
Why are you doing this to me, Pokemon Company?
The Pokemon Company looked and said, you know what? There's a certified Poke journalist here at Comicbook.com. I think it's time we make his life a living hell just for like 2 weeks of greatness, but also work.
The Pokemon Company, their president, Mr. What's his name? I can like see his name in front of me, but I can't pronounce it, and I'm not going to insult him enough to do so. But the Pokemon Company had actually, if you watch the entire video, he goes, "Oh, Christian Hoffer, do you remember back in 2016? When you were doing Pokemon content from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night? Welcome to the remix." And then it just went off. And it's like, oh, man, this is going to suck for me. The big speculation is it's going to be Pokemon Let's Go. Pokemon Let's Go Johto or the Gen 4 remakes. It's probably not going to be the Gen 4 remakes, but it might be. I will say that you will see a speculation article on Comicbook.com here in the next day or so that points out that behind the president of the Pokemon Company is a bunch of Johto stuff. Yeah. Now, mind you, they also just came out with a bunch of Johto stuff just in general. So it could just be them showing off like the latest merchandise. But that's the big thing is it going to be Let's Go Johto?
I mean, I feel like it's a pretty safe bet to say it will be Johto. It might also be something else, but it's definitely going to at least be Johto. Pokemon is like hive mind, like as a company, like they are seeding these things intentionally to make the maximum amount of profit. I am okay with whatever generation it is. I actually would prefer Johto. I just would really like to get some more use out of my Pokeball controller because like I've played the crap out of the first Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, and like I really enjoyed using the peripheral for the Pokeball controller, and I haven't had an excuse to use it.
Which, by the way, is crazy on sale. It's crazy on sale at Best Buy right now, the
Yeah.
Pokeball thing. So
But
if you
not
want
for
it,
much longer.
now's the time
Yeah,
to get it.
not for
Yeah.
much longer.
Well, that's what I
Get
mean.
it
Like,
before
yeah.
next week. Yeah. So like mine's just been sitting on a shelf and I still have one of my Pokemon in it. So like occasionally I'll like accidentally bump into it and it'll make a noise and I feel so bad. Because I'm like, I would love to do something.
What
with you.
Pokemon do you have trapped in there?
I think it's actually a Flareon, pretty sure. It's an Eevee evolution.
Of course it is.
It's not
My God.
Vaporeon though.
The
Vaporeon's with
the
me.
Pokeball attachment was $50?
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so
I
you
remember I think I had to buy the deluxe Let's Go, which came with it, and it was like an $80 purchase, if I remember
I
correctly.
had no idea.
Yeah. So if you want the Pokeball peripheral, either for Pikachu Eevee that's already out or for what is inevitably going to be announced next week, get it now while it's cheap because as soon as it's announced, those prices are going to go way up, just like all the Animal Crossing amiibos did when New Horizons came out. So
Seriously.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, it's pricey. But I love it. I really enjoyed using it. I thought it was weird at first, but like I came to really enjoy using it. So plus you can just like keep it, walk your Pokemon. They make little noises at you. Just don't maybe like leave them in there like I have. I probably need to play it. I probably need to play and like let Flareon out. Like I just need to like let her go. Go be free.
Enjoy.
Join your brethren. So that's my story for y'all.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Pokemon Snap. We finally got it. It has been a long. It has been a long-running joke here on the podcast. And anytime something new was going to come up, we have brought up maybe it's Pokemon Snap. And look, there is. I am honestly surprised that we got this. But also like not surprised, right? Because I mean, come on.
I mean, people have been calling it, wanting it for 20 years.
Yeah, it has been it's been, and like like the Switch is I would say probably the perfect system. Like outside of like a mobile game, the Switch is probably the perfect platform for this game.
It's so perfect. I will just say, I love the fact that Pokemon knows how much people want this game. Like, that's not a question. I just love how they were like, we'll just tack it on to the end of this 10-minute presentation. Because there were so many people I saw on social media, like, the one Pokemon Presents that I didn't watch because it was 10 minutes long, and I thought it was going to just be about the DLC, ends up being the presentation where they announce Pokemon Snap. Or rather, New Pokemon Snap is the name of it.
Well, they did. I mean, I think that the Pokemon Presents name was a bit of like a misnomer because the Japanese title of it was identical to what they used for the announcement of Pokemon Let's Go. So, it was literally Pokemon New Game Announcement. So,
yeah.
I feel like you just kind of screwed up if you weren't paying attention to it. Yeah, Pokemon Snap. I can't believe it's happening. And it looks like you're going to get the you're going to get your like little like all-terrain vehicle so that the Pokemon can't attack you. I am kind of like curious if this is going to be like a Jurassic World vibe where it's like, oh yeah, you're safe inside the dome, and then like a Buffalant comes and knocks you off of the path, and then like a Sharpedo tries to eat you.
That just got
we saw a gigantic Wailord.
Yeah, Wailord, it just like breaching out of the water. I watched it obviously live, the video, because everyone here at Comic Book was freaking out. But then later I watched it with my fiance and I was like, just look at it. And he saw Wailord and he just went, oh, that's a big boy. So, I was like, yeah, it is. It's great.
Wailord is finally getting like the love that it has always deserved. In the Pokemon Isle of Armor, this isn't really a spoiler because literally the first thing that happens when you come off this island or enter this island and like leave the train station, they show you like you see like the sea in front of you, and there in the ocean is a 45-foot whale lord that you can like swim up to, like bike up to, and battle. And like literally everybody, when I got the Isle of Armor like DLC, like you like go out there and there's like literally like 100 people clustered at different points of the whale lord because the thing is so big. It was fantastic.
That's
so
incredible.
I'm glad that Whale Lord is finally being shown in all of its 47-foot glory.
I mean, naturally. I mean, what a majestic creature. But I'm glad Isle of Armor representation, new Pokemon Snap. Like, there's just so many good Pokemon that we see. But of course, like the best part was, when we first kind of understood what the trailer was teasing, and it was just Pikachu with his little apple.
Yeah.
It was so cute. Such an iconic image. So,
although
I'm very
the big
excited.
question now is where am I going to print my photos?
Yeah.
GameStop.
It's going to be GameStop. I
You think so?
guarantee you. Which
I
is
do
not great
I
because,
do not want to
Pokemon.
go into a GameStop. No, I hope they put it into a Target. I can see them putting it into a Target.
Everyone else has. Everyone else does. Is using Target nowadays. I mean, the Pokemon trading card game got an exclusive board game that's going out to Target like 2 months before the rest of the world.
Well, but there was also that partnership too, right? Like, wasn't there the partnership that they did?
Oh yeah, the
at one
Pokemon
point?
app thing. Yeah,
The Pokemon app.
God,
Yeah.
that was a hot minute.
Yeah, and then didn't they paint all of the the balls that are outside of most Target stores into Pokeballs too? So
man.
so I hope Target is it, because I'm definitely at a Target more than I am. And I have no reason to go to GameStops anymore. So like I don't.
Yeah. Well.
So
who does?
Anyway, this is right. This is great news. Very excited about it. And I can't wait to play it. Christian, before we get to the Pokemon Fact of the Week, only because we're running a bit limited on time, what are some of your first initial impressions on Isle of Armor?
It's a lot of fun. So there was a little bit of like a misnomer talking about level scaling. There doesn't really seem to be that. Although like your strong Pokemon encounters are now level 80. Like that Whale Lord that you go out and battle, if you've beaten the main series game, that is a level 80 Pokemon.
Oh wow. Because isn't it 60?
It's 65 for like the hardest ones. So it's interesting, I really like the biome diversity. That's pretty cool. Like it while it's about the size of the wild area, I just feel like there's more there. Now, mind you, that could just be because I'm exploring it for the first time, but they do a better job of like dividing up stuff. It's not like, in the wild area, it's like, oh, you go over to, this little area right here and suddenly it's snowing. Walk 5 feet and suddenly it's a sandstorm. They like do a better job of kind of like splitting off those things so that they're like individual biomes. Like there is a shockingly lot to explore there. I've barely even touched the story because I just like keep running into Pokemon I want. There's 105 new returning Pokemon species. 105, I think.
Is there like a list somewhere, or do we just?
It'll be up on Comicbook.com at some point time today. Thank you, Jim, for reminding me of the more work that I have to do.
Is Geodude on the list?
No, no one gives a
Stop.
Actually, I don't know if Geodude is on the list or not. I
hope he is now, just to like.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it is. The reason no, it's not. One of the big things that they do is you can get a bunch of Alolan Pokemon in this, like the Alolan species.
Oh.
Yes.
So that comes back, and so that's actually why I specifically remember being a little bit surprised that there is no Alolan Geodude, because like all the other species basically are in it. Like you can get a Vulpix, you can get an Executor, a Marowak, a Raichu, and there's one other species that I'm like can't think about. I'm not thinking about the top of my head. I was like, oh, so you basically get all the Alolan species that matter.
Wow,
that's kind of that. But yeah, I think that people will really enjoy it. Like I said, I haven't really dug in enough to like give a final impression. That's what happens when you do a major news drop. This, the day that your DLC comes out. But I think it's going to be. I think a lot of people are going to really like it, and I think that when people do their second playthrough and because you can you can access it, I think, as soon as you get to the wild, from the second that you actually do the wild area. So the second the first wild area opens up, you can do the second one, and I think it will make for a much fuller game experience ultimately.
Cool. All right, Christian, let's do the Pokemon Fact of the Week and wrap this baby up. I do want to say, since last week's Pokemon Fact of the Week, the Dotrio, Doduo and Dotrio one, I feel like I see Dotrio everywhere now.
Yes.
Like I am like way more like aware of him showing up in places where like he's in the Snap. He's in the Snap trailer, and he's in the first episode. He's the first Pokemon you see in the first episode of Journeys. And so now, I'm convinced that Dotrio. I'm convinced that Dotrio is now like another unofficial Pokemon mascot because I'm convinced he's everywhere, and I just haven't seen it. Yeah. So anyway, let's go with today's Pokemon fact.
So we're going straight up zoology today. Dugong. Did you know dugong is a real thing?
I mean, it's a manatee.
Yeah, it's a sea manatee. That's exclusive to like Australia and like the certain Pacific Islands.
But like with a horn on its head?
No. Of course, that's just silly, Jim. God, what sort of creature has a horn on his head besides of course, the narwhal?
Majestic narwhal.
The majestic narwhal. Yeah. But that's something that I mean, I personally, I kind of forgotten it. When I was like looking up the stuff about dugong, it's like, oh yeah, dugong. Wait, so
what? So what's the name of the real animal?
Dugong.
It's called.
It's straight up. It's called dugong. It's just spelled with a U instead of an EW. Like dugong is literally, they just said, it's like, oh yeah, dugong, seal and dugong. So you have seal, which is named after a seal, and then you have dugong, which is named after a dugong.
I don't want to hear anybody ever complaining about how, like, quote unquote lazy the Pokemon company's gotten with new generations. When you look at those it's Pokemon,
like, yeah, it's
like they literally just took it.
Yeah, but the other thing is that dugong, like many other Pokemon, are one of the Pokemon species that is known to eat other Pokemon species. If you are a fish Pokemon, it will eat you.
That's fair.
It doesn't have any qualms about it. So the next time you see, dugong, it's like, oh, look at that majestic Pokemon swim by. That Pokemon is probably swimming to eat a fish Pokemon.
Wow.
All right. Well, with that, let's wrap this up. Today has been a fun one for sure. There's a ton of news. I can't wait to, there's one of those things where like, news was starting to dry up, and what were we going to talk about? And now with just like this latest slate of things that we know are coming, we got plenty of stuff to talk about. That's what makes doing this show so much fun. If you like this show and you want to think to yourself, like, how can, I'd love to help these guys out a little bit. There's a number of ways you can do it. One, just tell someone about it. If you're in a Pokemon fan club, or if you're in a Pokemon subreddit somewhere or a Facebook group, just drop a link to the show in there and say, hey, these guys love Pokemon just as much as we do. And, more people that come to the show, the more we get to do. So that's the quick and easy way. Otherwise, if you're thinking, well, what's in it for me? Well, if you leave a 5-star review on iTunes and read it on the air, you get a free Comicbook.com t-shirt when we're back in the office, because we're still
free Comicbook.com t-shirt.
That's right, a free Comicbook.com t-shirt. They're very soft. They're very nice.
They are. I caught my wife the other day trying to take it and wear it to bed, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, looked like a child who had just been caught with her hand in the cookie jar. What was that? Yeah.
She's like, leave me alone.
Like, no, my shirt now.
So like I said, like we love reading the reviews, and we also love interacting with you guys, on Twitter. So you can find me at Jim Viscardi.
You can find me on Twitter at Megan Peters CB.
And I am at Seehofer Cbus.
So next week, be prepared to talk about Isle of Armor. So now's your chance to go download it, play the heck out of it, and we will give you the tips and tricks that you need to know that you may have missed.
Or we'll be talking about whatever Pokemon news gets dropped 2 hours before this thing records.
Yeah. Oh, right. Plus, also, next week's big announcement. So until then, we will catch you next time, folks. Have a good one.